Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWUS. Knicks Pacers Game 3. We're back in Indiana now. As far as the NBA, the last couple days, things have been going well for me. Went 2-0 on Tuesday night. Then I had Knicks minus 4.5 on Wednesday night. I'm recording this on Thursday evening before Thursday night's game, so hopefully we had 3 great days in a row by the time you're watching this. Knicks Pacers Game 3. Let's roll.
Welcome to the SWUS. The SWUS. SWUS. Hey, get the SWUS.
All right, so like I said, the Knicks are out in Indianapolis for this one. The Pacers are laying 7.5. I'm actually seeing 7s, though. Earlier was looking like 7.5, 8. Now it's looking like 7.5. So definitely line dropped a little bit towards the Knicks in the last hour. Total sitting at 222.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the model, Knicks should win this one outright. Final score 108-106 New York. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with New York. OG Anunoby on the report. Obviously, he got injured in Game 2. He missed the entire fourth quarter. He's listed as questionable here. That's a huge one. Anunoby's been excellent for the Knicks since joining the team. Jalen Brunson not on the report from what I can see. So looks like Jalen Brunson's good to go. Anunoby status is in question. On the Indiana side, nobody on the injury report for the Pacers as of right now. So obviously, let's start by taking a look at the first 2 games of this series. Both were in Madison Square Garden, as I'm sure you know. Knicks took both of them. First one was 121-117. Second one was 130-121. The biggest takeaway statistically from this series so far is the Knicks offense. They've been shooting out of this world. 55.4% as a team in this series, 47.2% from 3. Knicks have been hitting their shots. They've also been winning the rebounding battle. Maybe not quite as dominating on the glass as we expected. You can see offensive rebounds 10 to 10.5 in the series. Defensive rebounds 32 to 22.5. Knicks were the best rebounding team in the NBA this year. Pacers were a pretty poor rebounding team. So I expected the Knicks to have more control over the glass than this. But you know what? Maybe injuries plays a part. Obviously, as we know, Julius Randle's been out for a while. No Mitchell Robinson. OG Anunoby's banged up now, so maybe injuries plays a role into this. Knicks should continue to win the rebounding battle, though. Take a look at these numbers here. Things have been pretty even in this department, and these 2 categories, this is usually where Indiana dominates. This is how they've won so many games this year. Points in the paint and fast break points. Actually pretty even. Points in the paint per game, 60 to 62. Fast break points per game, 14.5 to 14. So the Knicks playing Pacers basketball with the Pacers, and they're doing it pretty well. Now we go back to Indiana, though, and no question the Pacers have been better at home in this postseason. They're 3-0 at home this year. They won all 3 of their home games against the Bucks. They're just 1-4 on the road in these playoffs so far. You can see it's not the offense. They're actually 5th in offensive rating at home and on the road, home and away. But defensively, they go from 15th to 8th. And this is out of 16. These are numbers in the playoffs. So this is out of 16. 5th offensive rating, both home and away. 8th defensively at home. So they've definitely been playing better defense at home. And let's face it, the Pacers defense flat out has to be better. We just saw in Game 2, in the fourth quarter, OG Anunoby was out. Brunson was banged up. DiVincenzo, Hart, Precious Achiuwa, and an injured Jalen Brunson. All 4 of those guys played all 12 minutes. None of them came off the court, not even for a second, and the Knicks won the battle in that fourth quarter. The Pacers actually outshot the Knicks, 60% to 40%, 50% to 40% from the floor and from 3. Knicks still 31 to 30, and look at the rebounds, 12 to 6. And it keeps coming back to that same point, the point I made before this season started. The Pacers can play with the Knicks. I'm not crazy about laying big numbers with the Knicks in this series. But when it comes down to it, at the end of the game, I trust the guys on the Knicks to make plays over I trust anyone on the Pacers roster to make plays. Guys like Josh Hart, Isaiah Hartenstein, Jalen Brunson, DiVincenzo, these guys just make plays, and they've shown us we can count on them in the closing minutes to get that rebound, to knock down the shot. So even though in this fourth quarter, look at the shooting numbers. The Pacers outplayed the Knicks. The Knicks still scored more points than the Pacers because of hustle plays, because of rebounding, which puts us in a really difficult position here as far as betting Game 3. Obviously, if OG Anunoby doesn't play in this game, you'd have to say the Pacers have the advantage. I mean, fatigue is going to catch up with this Knicks team eventually. But still, I just don't see how you can lay 7.5 points with the Pacers defense. I mean, maybe you can point at the fact that they played slightly better defense in their home games against Milwaukee, but even so, I don't trust this Pacers defense at all. So I won't be laying 7.5 points, even though if OG Anunoby plays, it's probably the right side. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to take the Knicks at plus 7.5. If OG Anunoby plays, I think it's a great bet. If he doesn't play, we're probably on the wrong side, but I don't think we're definitely dead in the water. So give me the Knicks plus the points. As far as the total, all right, hear me out. So if OG Anunoby plays and we see the same matchup in game 3 that we saw in games 1 and 2, then you'd have to lean towards the over. I mean, even though the total is now up to 222.5, 223, you'd still have to lean towards the over. We saw 2 super high-scoring games. So if OG Anunoby plays, I would have to say I'm leaning towards the over. If OG Anunoby doesn't play, I don't think it's crazy to think Tom Thibodeau comes out with the strategy of slowing this game down to keep his players rested, because fatigue is going to be an issue, and I don't think Thibodeau wants to run a 6-man rotation in the playoffs gassed, sprinting up and down the court all day. If OG Anunoby doesn't play and the Knicks are forced to run with a 6 or 7-man rotation with Alec Burks being the 7th, then I might consider a late under here, but I'm just going to take the points with the Knicks. It's going to be a smaller bet because it's definitely a tough game to make a prediction on with OG Anunoby status being up in the air. How healthy is Jalen Brunson? I didn't even mention that. We don't know. He obviously missed the entire second quarter of game 2. So I'll be taking the Knicks plus the points. I'm going to bet that, but as far as anything else, it'll be a small bet, and I don't know what else I'm going to do here. I'll let you know on the live show, but Knicks plus 7.5 for now. If you want my top bets for NBA or MLB, you want to take a look at our spreadsheets, or you want to join our Discord, head over to KyleKirms.com. The information's right there on the homepage. Let's have ourselves a nice Friday night here. We got a lot of baseball on, 15 games, 2 NBA playoff games. It's definitely a great sports night. Remember to bet responsibly. Let's get this weekend started off properly. Talk to you in the Discord.